Welcome back to Studio B54. We're gonna we're gonna review the movie A Christmas Story. Damn, that movie! It's a good movie. I rewatched it. I'd seen bits and pieces, I feel like a lot of these movies, you just see bits and pieces. You don't sit down and I'm gonna watch this full through, a whole thing, digest it. Man, that's an old movie. Like, you could tell it's old because one, towards the end of the movie, super racist. Nah, I mean not super racist, but I don't think it's allowed in this culture right now. I didn't find it too disrespectful. I'm not of that culture they were making fun of, but if you watch it, the last like 10 minutes of it, you're like, oh, that's not, that can't be made today. What did I take away from the movie? What do we take away from a Christmas movie? I took two things. You can be persistent and annoy people with what you want, and you might get it. But that's not really what I feel the movie's about. I feel like what the movie's really about is father always knows, Like your dad knows best. Like, what he might not be like, I don't know. I feel like my dad was loving, so I can't really say. But in general, like it said that most dads aren't like ooey gooey lovey dovey, and they don't really pay much attention to you. They just make sure you're alive and that you don't become a piece of crap, throughout your life. But they're not there. They're not I don't know, they're not as attentive as moms, and I understand. I get this 100%. I feel this way. I know people say you can't compare it. I can compare it because I don't have a kid yet, but a little bit to my dog. My wife loves our dog. I like to play with the dog, and I tell him, you want to play kick the dog, and he loves coming at me. I don't kick my dog, obviously, but I tell him we could play kick the dog, and he's like, oh, let's play. And I'll cuddle with him, and I'll go play on the ground with him or something. But it's a little bit different kind of love, And I feel like throughout the whole movie, that's what happens. The dad isn't as attentive. He's your old school dad. Comes to the table, eats. Hey kids, how are you? Everything okay? And then mom's like, yeah, they were okay. They had, they had a good day at school. They have this, they have that. But not son, what do you want to be when you grow up? Deep conversations. I mean, I say this because I have these conversations with my dad. I was very fortunate to have a very close relationship with my father, so I'm glad I don't have that kind of a father who's not absentee, but kind of doesn't care a little bit. It's not that they don't care, it's just they don't know how to express themselves and their emotions and stuff like that. I'm glad that my dad was pretty complex in his feelings, and he knows how to do that stuff. Anyways, that's not important. Important thing is the movie. What the movie's about is about this kid who, throughout the whole movie, all he wants is a Red Rover BB gun. I understand this because my dad is not a gun person. Growing up, I could never have had a BB gun. I had maybe 3 BB guns, but I had those plastic BB guns, not the copper metal BB guns. And when I got my plastic BB guns, I got them because my aunt bought them for me. So shout out Thea for hooking it up. Thank you. You let me live my childhood. She got me 2 at the Swamp Meet and 1 for Christmas, which I was like, yes. Anyways, Yeah, like those things are dangerous. You could shoot your eye out. 100%. You could literally shoot your eye out. And it's proven in the movie, like the first thing he does. And I mean, I feel like I had proper etiquette shown to me with pellet guns and BB guns. Like, you don't shoot steel surfaces or something that could bounce back. You only kind of like shoot against like a sand barrier or something like that. um, but it's very dangerous. Like I grew up not wearing glasses, but like the kid was really lucky. Ralphie was really, I think his name was Ralphie. Yeah, Ralphie. Ralphie was really lucky that he was wearing glasses, and when he was shooting his gun, or else he would have lost an eye. Um, I always thought this movie was a little bit more about like a little more raunchy, I guess. Like there's cool things you figure out. Like, I feel like I'm all over the place with this movie. I feel like this isn't even a review. It's just me talking about me watching a movie, kind of a thing. Um, I don't know. I don't even know what to tell this thing anymore. It's just a discussion or whatever. Anyways, what I took away from it, I feel like I'm all over the place now. Like I don't know what to do. So everyone in the movie is telling Ralphie like, "Yo, dude, you shouldn't get this thing because it's gonna shoot your eye." The teacher tells him. The Santa Claus tells him. His mom tells him. And I don't know if it's like a coming of age movie. I think that's what it would be considered, like coming of age, because the boy kind of grows through the story, through the movie. But it's not like Stand By Me or something like that. It's different. It's just this movie about a kid who wants his gun. And at the end of the day, it's his father that buys it for him. And it's like, you might have heard him say once or twice that he wanted this pet BB gun. But I think that's an important thing, that sometimes that your father is the one that buys you things that aren't safe and that teaches you these life lessons. I think that's what this movie really is about. Like, sometimes people are trying to protect you too much, like your mother, your school, maybe not your friends, but even yourself. Like, you try to protect yourself from bullies and stuff. Like in the movie, like he gets bullied a lot. So at the end of the day, he gets permission from his dad. He's like, you know what? Like, I got him his little BB gun that he wanted. He goes, he gets it, he opens it, he goes to shoot it out, and what happens? He shoots himself in the eye. But I think that's important. Like, I feel like sometimes it shows us that even if the things that we want, like when we do get them, they'll hurt us to a degree. I don't know. I'll stick with the a father sometimes knows best, because I feel like I could relate to that. Like, I remember growing up when I was like 12 or something. I was really lucky that my dad, I went to go visit my grandparents with my mother, and when we came back, my dad, see, I don't know if like my parents were fighting at the time or anything. They're not divorced, but I don't think they were ever that super happy. So when we came back, my dad got me like a little dune buggy golf cart, like they used to sell them at Pep Boys back in the day, for Christmas. And I was ecstatic, because what's the funniest thing you could give a kid is a little car that he gets to drive around. We lived like out in the boonies, and I got to make my own little racetrack. I had no neighbors. My closest neighbor was probably like quarter of a kilometer, I guess I would say. Yeah, quarter of a like 2,200, 300 yards away, which doesn't sound like a lot, but like if you live in the city, like yeah, like it's pretty far away. And then from there, the second closest neighbor was probably like a mile away. So I was the only like kid in that area, and I had to entertain myself by myself, and I still hadn't discovered jerking off. So I would ride my go kart around, and I would like lap, do times and stuff. And one day, I flipped my little go kart over, and I didn't know to keep my hands inside of the vehicle the whole time at all times. And I stuck my arm out when I was flipping over, and I ended up breaking my arm. And that injury took so long to heal because it broke my arm broke in such a weird place, and I just remember. Actually, I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie to you, but like I could just imagine all the smack my mom would have been talking to my dad, like, "Why'd you get him this? Why'd you get him that?" And I just think my dad's like, "God damn it, kid broke his arm." But it's experience, a life lesson. You learn to like always keep your hand inside, and now like it's something that I've learned. So that's why I think like sometimes we underestimate fathers as not being caring or anything, but sometimes they come in clutch. We don't know, we don't see it, but they come in from the left field, and that's when they get us in the feels. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know something about a little story about you or your father, or a little story that you feel like you maybe felt even your mother. I mean, you felt your mother or father or mother weren't always paying attention, but then they surprised you with something really cool. Peace. It really wasn't a review because I don't know. Comment, like, subscribe. Catch you guys later. Boom. You'll shoot your eye out.